Okay, so good afternoon, class.
Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon, ma'am.
Okay, so let me present my screen first. Sana hindi na ako mawala this time. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So, parang nag-echo yata si. Okay, so for today's discussion, we will be having our demonstration teaching, and of course, I am your teacher, Alma F. Tagle. Okay, before we start our class, let's have a simple prayer to be led by Miss Malupay.
In the name of the Father, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for providing. Thank you for protection. Help us to close our hearts and minds now on what we are about to learn. Guide us as we start this day forward and protect us from the pandemic that is happening around the world. We ask all this in the name of Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, amen. So, before we begin on our discussion, let's have a review. So, who among you guys wants to state our discussion last meeting? Anyone? Okay, Mr. Jeremiah Tagohoy, kindly state what is it about our on our discussion last meeting.
Yes, ma'am. Our last discussion is all about context clues. Context clues are hints that an author gets to help define a difficult or unusual word. It can be classified into five types with an acronym of ideas. Stands for inference, definition, example, antonym, and synonyms. These context clues can easily determine using its different signal words included in the sentence.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dagohoy. That was a very great answer. Moving on, let us have an activity. So I will be sending a link about this on how do you feel today, just to check on you guys. Okay? Alright, wait lang po. I'll stop presenting muna, no? I'll send the link on how are you feeling today.
Hello?
Hello? Yes po. Okay, so I'll send na po. Wait lang po. Just go on the chat box and here is the link. Ayan. So, you have at least um, 3 minutes or 2 minutes will do to answer this um, form. Let me know when you're through. We may proceed to our lesson. Okay, ayan.
Okay na.
Okay, so most of you answered you are happy. So why are you happy right now? What things that made you happy today. So, bakit po kayo masaya? And anyone? I think Mr. Dagoy is happy. So, why are you happy po?
So, yes, ma'am, I'm so very, very happy today. It is because, first of all, this is the blessed day for me. And also, we have a banding with my friends and my families. Yeah.
Thank you. So, ayun. I'll present my screen again. So you can see the result of your answer. So, may nagsagot ng nervous. Sino yung nagsagot ng nervous? Why are you nervous? Huwag kayong kabahan, guys. Ako lang to. Okay, so, ayan. So, we're done with how do you feel today. I hope you guys are okay and you're happy. Don't have to be nervous. Ayan. So, can you see my screen? Ayan. So, for our next activity, this is called Spell It. So, you just have to spell out letters presented here into words. So, say, for example, the word happy. So, you will spell out H as housing, A as alliance, P, payment, P, program, and Y, yearly. So, who among you guys wants to spell the word shell? Spell out the word shell. Sino po ang gustong mag-volunteer? Anyone? I think I want to hear from Mr. Pedrosa, Richie Pedrosa. Can we spell out?
S stand for shining.
Okay.
H stand for horrible.
Okay.
E stand for
And for
English.
English. Okay, very
L
good.
stand for lovely.
Okay.
L stand for lovable.
Lovable. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Pedrosa. Okay. Since we have mentioned the word shell, our story for today is also about shell. So this is entitled Macaro in the Cowrie Shell. So I want you to listen and to actively participate on this part because you will be watching a short video. Okay, you may take down notes if you want about the details that you are going to watch. Okay. Okay. Let me know if you don't hear anything. Hanay.
Makato and the Cowrie Shell. Once upon a time, there was a boy whose name was Makato. He was an orphan, for his mother and father had died when he was very young. He had no brothers, sisters, cousins, or friends to take care of him, so he had to make a living for himself. He did every kind of work, carrying heavy things, clearing away the forest, or feeding pigs. He never idled over his work, and although he was paid only a small wage, he was satisfied. He knew that if he did not work, he would starve. Wherever he went, his employers praised him for being sensible, hardworking, good-tempered, and cheerful. One fine evening, after he had finished chopping up a big pile of wood, he sat down for a rest and thought of all he would like to do in the future. He wanted to try his luck in far-off strange lands, for he longed for his exciting adventures. "What are you thinking about so deeply, my boy?" asked his employer. "I would like to go on a journey for adventure," said Makato, pointing to the northeast. "I've heard that the land over there is fertile and the people are kind. I wish I could see that land for myself." His eyes sparkled with excitement. "The land you wish to go is called Sukhothai," said the employer. "They say Prairie of Sukhothai is a very kind-hearted king. You might be lucky if you could go there." Sometime later, Makato decided to try his fortune. He left his village and set out into the wide world. He walked along cheerfully, enjoying new sights and talking to the people he met on the way. After a month's journey, he reached a village on the frontier of the kingdom of Sukhothai. "Please, can I have some water to drink?" Makato asked an old woman with a big water pot on her head. "I'm so thirsty." Where did you come from? Why are you here alone? You look as if you've come a long way," said the old woman, pouring cold water from her pot into a small cup and handing it to Makato. "Thank you so much," said the boy. "Where are your father and mother from? Haven't you have any family?" the old woman asked again. "I have neither mother nor father. I came from the city of Morn over there," replied Makato. "Good heavens! Have you really come from Morn? How is that you are traveling alone? Such a young boy as you are." "I wanted to see Prairie of Sukhothai," replied Makato. "They say he is a very kind-hearted king." "You are a determined boy," said the woman. "Come along with me. Who knows? You might see Prairie someday." Makato was glad to go with her. If he could work for this kind woman, he would have a place to sleep, some food to eat, and perhaps someday he might be lucky enough to see the king. The old woman's husband was one of Prairie mahouts, which meant that he helped look after the hundreds of elephants that the king owned. Makato helped the mahout find food for the elephants and clean out the elephants' sheds. He worked hard and well, and the mahout and his wife were fond of him. One day, the sky was so clear and the weather so fine that it seemed to Makato that it must be a lucky day. As he worked in the elephant sheds, the tall young in a splendid costume, followed by attendants, came in. It was Prairie himself. Makato bowed low at once with his hands clasped together before him. His heart beat fast. "Where did that boy come from?" the king asked the old mahout. who was attending him. He came all the way from the city of Moon, said the old Mahat, bowing. He heard so much about you, Your Majesty, that he longed to see you. How old is he? 12 years old, Your Majesty. A good looking and hard-working boy, said the king. Take good care of him. As the king walked away, Makato saw a little cowrie shell lying on the ground. He ran to pick it up and held it out to the king, but the king said with a smile, You may keep it. How wonderful, Makato thought. The king has given me a cowrie shell. At that time, the people of Sukhothai used cowrie shells as money, although one cowrie shell had little value. Makato wanted to make as much use of it as possible, for it was the king's gift. For a long time, he could not think of a way to use it so that it would earn more money for him. One day, he passed by a stall in the market where the seeds of many different plants were sold. He looked along the stall and caught sight of a basket full of lettuce seeds. Lettuce. He could grow small plants like that. He asked the jolly-looking woman at the stall. Can I buy some of those lettuce seeds? Oh, yes, my boy. How much do you want? Said the woman. I have one cowrie shell, said Makato. One cowrie shell, said the woman, laughing. That won't buy anything. I can't even measure that much. What? Said Makato eagerly. I'll dip my finger into a pile of seeds. Then I'll take the seeds that stick to it. That must be about right for one cowrie shell. Well, why not? Said the woman, amused at his suggestion. All right, boy, help yourself. Makato paid the woman his one cowrie shell. Then he put his finger into his mouth and dipped it into a pile of seeds. When he pulled his wet finger out, it was covered with seeds. He carefully scraped them off his finger into the palm of his hand and went away happily clutching the seeds. Now that he had seeds, Makato broke the soil and sowed them at once. He watered the seed bed every day, and soon the young plants appeared. Day by day, he cleared more ground and planted more lettuce seedlings until the kitchen garden was covered with them. He was very proud of himself because he had done so well. I wish I could give the king some of my fine lettuce, he thought. One day, the king passed by the elephant's sheds. Again, Makato waited his opportunity, then knelt down and proudly presented his big bunches of lettuce to the king. Where did you get these? The king asked, surprised. I grew them from the cowrie shell you gave me, Your Majesty, answered Makato with a beaming smile. How could you do that? Asked the puzzled king. Makato told the king the whole story. The king was impressed with his intelligence and industry. So much so that later on, he gave Makato a job in the palace. As the years passed, Makato grew tall and handsome. He mastered every grace and served the king well. He was so loyal that the king trusted him absolutely. He was promoted to higher and higher positions until he was given the title of Kunwa, which meant that he was the most important person in the king's court. He was also happily married to a beautiful young daughter of the king. After that, the king made him the ruler of Mo. So, it was that Makato, who had once been a poor orphan, became the king of that prosperous kingdom.
Okay. Did you learn something from Makato's story? So, to test your understanding of the lesson, here are the following questions that you have to answer. So, for the first question, what is the title of the video that you have watched? Yes, April Joy Malupay.
Makato, Makato and the Cowrie Shell.
Okay, Kato and the Cowrie Shell, correct. For number two, who is the main character in the story? Yes, Richie Pedrosa.
Makato, ma'am.
Okay, Makato, very good. For the last question, what have you learned from the story of Makato and the Cowrie Shell? What have you learned from the story of Makato and the Cowrie Shell? Anyone? There are no wrong answers. Yes, Mr. Jeremiah Tagohoy.
Um, I've learned from the story, mom, is in our life you need to be strong and you need to fight even your stage in your life is so very difficult. You need to be a hardworking person like Makato,
Mhm.
and sometimes meron naman po kasing dumarating talaga na biyaya sa atin. Then that's blessing makes you happy and makes you um more powerful and more stronger in your life. Ganun pa.
Okay, so thank you very much. So, as okay, so I'm very, very sorry for the interruption, kasi mahina ang ating internet. But again, as per Mr. Dagohoy, he mentioned that success is um, important and we cannot achieve success if we do not go through hard work. So, di ba sabi nga nila, there is no elevator to success, but you have to go through the stairs of hard work. So I hope you give importance to success and hard work of people. And then moving forward, so I wanna ask you, what can you see in the pictures? Anyone? Yes, Mr. Dagohoy.
Um, nakikita ko po sa picture is a hardworking man and a cowrie shell.
Okay, very good. It's a hardworking person and a cowrie shell. So very good. So another question is that if you were Makato, would you do the same thing with the cowrie shell the king gave you? So Say for example, you are the main character of this story, and the king gave you a cowrie shell. So would you do the same thing? Would you go to the market and buy seeds out of that one cowrie shell? Anyone? Yes or no? Or maybe? Yes, Miss April Joy Malupay.
Yes, I will do the same thing as Makato did to the cowrie shell.
Okay, thank you. How about the others? Yes, Mr. Dagohoy.
Yes, ma'am, I will do the same thing like Makato did.
How about you, Mr. Pedrosa? Would you do the same thing?
Yes din po, ma'am.
Okay. That's a very kind and wise decision. Ano? Next. Okay. So for our next activity, it's called It's Showtime. So the direction, students need to repeat the lines from the story of Makato and the cowrie shell. So as we are dealing with your speaking skills, this is to test how well you speak lines based on the story of Makato and the cowrie shell. So I'll give you assigned lines. So say for example, this first line of this was a line from a mother or a woman that Makato encountered during this adventure, no? So this will be for Miss April Joy Malupay. Next is the line of the king of Sukhothai. I guess this would be on Mr. Lagohoy. And for the last line, it would be for Mr. Pedrosa. No? You just have to read the lines and put emotions and proper pronunciations on this on those lines. Okay? Are you ready? Are you guys ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. So go ahead. You may now start, Miss Malupay.
Good heavens, have you really come from moon? How is it that you are traveling alone, such a young boy as you are?
Okay, that's very good. Next, Mr. Dagohoy.
A good-looking and hardworking boy. Take good care of him.
Okay, I really like your voice, no? You put deep voice on that part because it's from the King's line. Okay, next for Mr. Pedrosa.
I grow them from the cowrie shell you gave me, your majesty.
Okay. So, let me just correct you on that part, no? Ang pagkakasabi ni Makato as main character, I grew them from the cowrie shell you gave me, your majesty. Parang it's more fun and active because he is so excited to give those plants or letters to his majesty. Okay? So for your next activity, it's your quiz time. So this will evaluate your understanding of our lesson for today. So kindly read the direction, Mr. Pedrosa.
Read the question carefully and choose the correct answer to each item.
Okay, so I'll be sending the link of the Google form that you are going to accomplish. Okay, so let me stop sharing. Okay. So, okay. Stop sharing. Here's the link for your quiz. Kindly accomplish your quiz. I'll give you 5 minutes to answer. Let me know if you're done answering. Okay. Okay, so I think everyone was done. I'll share screen again. And so, as you may notice, most of you got the correct answer. So, give yourself a virtual clap. That's a great job, guys. Okay, very good for your answer. I can see that you really understand the story. All right, so let's proceed. So, ayun, you already accomplished your quiz and you really did a great job, guys. Okay. So, let me just end our discussion with a quotation from Plato, which is the harder you work, the luckier you get. So, true enough that if you work hard on something, you will be soon rewarded and you will be lucky for the outcome of your hard work. Work hard on it. Later on, you will see the result of it. It might not be that successful, but at least you try and you did your best on that part. So the harder you work, the luckier you get. Say for example, you're doing your assignment earlier than other students. You get to manage your time while doing your assignments, no? If you work hard and accomplish your task earlier than other, then you will be lucky enough to get enough time to do anything that you want. Okay? Next. Thank you for the heart reaction, Mr. Dagohoy. So for your assignment, read the story "Children Are Wiser Than Elders" by Leo Tolstoy, and record yourself for reading it. So you believe that children are wiser than elders? Do you guys agree with that title of the short story, even though you haven't read the story yet? You agree that children are wiser than elders? Or at some point, yes, children are wiser than elders. Okay, I think you guys are processing with those words. Okay. For okay, so I guess that's all for today. Do you have any questions before we go or none? None? Oh, I guess silence means you don't have any questions. So I guess that's all for today's discussion. Thank you very much for your participation. Have a great day